AFC Southside. AFC Southside. Are you ready for the fight? Nighty night, lights out, no Tyson. About to be the clash of the Titans. Strike like a lightning bolt. You feel the ground pounding, that might be the coast. Quick like a joke, like to hit when provoked. Don't you doubt that. That's a Jaguar to a house cat. That's an outcast to a whole squadron. If you talking Houston, then we've got a problem. You'll probably get the horns if you mess with the cattle. Sit back in your saddle and get ready for the fan battle.
All right. In the wise words of Matthew McConaughey, we'll wait for a couple of minutes and we'll get it started. Wait for everybody to join us.
Yeah, or Kevin Hart, depending on which way you want to go with it.
Yeah. Which version you want? The white version or the black version?
All right. Gonna learn today.
Kevin Hart had a pretty awesome commercial yesterday.
Oh yeah. Kevin Hart had a great time overall. Did you see he was drunk? He slapped Shaq in the head.
No.
He was like, he's like,
Did he climb the ladder?
You got it. No, Shaq was sitting down and it looked like he still had to reach up. Like it was like Kevin Hart is probably an aggressive like 4'7".
Aggressive, I like that.
Yeah, it's just like yeah.
Yeah, the Super Bowl commercials were pretty good this year. So
yeah, they were kind of. I did. There was a couple of them. I'm just like, I have a feeling these might actually be like kind of weird, but they actually delivered. They delivered this year.
I mean, I wouldn't say they delivered because I think the three of us are old enough to appreciate the waza.
Oh well, yeah, absolutely. Nothing. Those are cult classics. Like those are like the absolute best.
Yeah.
But no, we yeah. It's I think it's just like they're catered to a little bit more marketing now. I think these companies just really want money. Like they're not trying to be like super creative.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely. Well, guys, let's go ahead. Let me fix something and we'll start. I thought same was technical difficulties. All right. So let's get started. Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
All right.
We're ready.
Yo, welcome to the AFC South Fan Battle Podcast. I'm your host tonight, Matthew Briggs. Sadly, Samantha is gone, being biased to the Jaguars, so she will not be with us tonight. But tonight I do have two wonderful folks representing the Jaguars and the Jaguar podcast, Mr. Matthew Grieve.
Duval.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
And from the Colts and the You Don't Know Jack podcast, the host, Christopher Jackson.
Just want to let everybody know Shane Steichen's on the way. And we're going to run the AFC South next year. That's it.
All right, guys.
Run
well,
away.
yeah. I mean, it's better than Mr. Saturday, right? You know.
Absolutely.
At this point, Bill O'Brien's better than Mr. Saturday. So
yeah, I never thought that I would be rooting against Saturdays so much. Like it's just like it was just no, absolutely not.
All right, fellas. Well, before we jump into NFL news and why we're here, let's talk about it. It happened last night. The Supper Bowel.
Supper Bowel.
We had the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles, which I thought was a good game, but there's a lot of controversy. So before we talk about all that, let's talk about what we were doing before pre-production. Commercials. You gotta tell me what was your favorite commercial this year? I'll start off with you, Matt. Which one was yours?
What was my favorite? It'd have to be a tie between the Clydesdale fake out and because Clydesdale is it's a staple, right? And if I recall correctly, they actually didn't have the Clydesdales this year. It was the pool company that juked us out there.
Yeah.
It was tied between that and Mr. Ben Affleck in the drive-through.
Oh yeah, that was a pretty good one. I totally forgot about that one. The whole Jennifer Lopez like, come on, get in the car. What are you doing?
I mean, any moment that I could just look at J-Lo, it's a win. Automatic dub.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Jackson. What about you?
You know what? I'm gonna go the road less traveled and say that Tubi commercial that freaked everybody out was absolutely hilarious because it's just like, wait, this isn't supposed to be doing this right now. They said like there was a guy I saw online. He's just like, he said, I literally argued with my mother-in-law for 10 minutes because I said that she was messing with the TV and she said she wasn't. I'm like, way to go. That's worse than 52 fake out. Like you literally just made people think that their TVs were just like working on their own, like Skynet or something.
I gotta go. My favorite one was the Doritos commercial with the Breaking Bad characters.
Yeah.
I'm a Breaking Bad guy, so I was like, oh, fantastic.
Fair enough.
Fantastic.
Yes. No.
All right, guys. Well, again, moving on to everything but the game. Rihanna was the halftime show. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people didn't. I'll start off with you, Chris. I hit the Uno reverse card and kick it off with you. What about you, Chris? What you thought?
I felt betrayed because we saw that once again Rihanna's pregnant by somebody that's not me, and it's just like I'm not gonna keep on putting myself through this emotional roller coaster. Like
that's great.
You're not gonna keep doing this to me. It's just like, you know what? You go ahead and you have your baby with what's his name? What's his face? The
ASAP Rocky. Are they still together?
No. Adoree Jackson. Adoree Jackson. Because we've never seen ASAP Rocky and Adoree Jackson in the same place. So I'm just going to assume that they're the same person.
Okay.
They're the same person. Go ahead, look it up. I dare you. Google it.
What about you, Matt? What do you thought about it?
I mean, I'd hate to be so harsh, right? But you have to compare to what they've done recently. Now, I'd have to say it was meh. Like a meh. Like she didn't do bad. She didn't do great. And I think part of the problem is in recent years, the collaborations have been so good. Like I was just waiting for that extra star to come out, Eminem or whomever, right? To spice it up. And, not all of it falls on Rihanna. Part of it is just because previous years they've kind of spoiled us with that. So I was kind of expecting that. But, overall, I thought it was a meh. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great.
I was kind of a jerk because I was like, I was kind of like you. I was disappointed because it wasn't, to me, she didn't really perform that great. I was like, oh, and then I find out she's pregnant. I was like, oh, well, I'm an asshole. And that's why she's not, dancing around. She's pregnant. So
I'm not because she keeps playing with my emotions.
Right. Well, I thought she sung very well, like she always does.
She's lip sync great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I agree with Chris. Like, why you gotta do that to us? I was waiting for some twerking. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, all right.
Listen, I like as soon as I saw like she was getting in position, and then I saw what she did. I'm just like, oh yeah, she's pregnant.
Yeah,
it's just like there was a certain level of struggle that went into that.
They broke Twitter for like I think 8 minutes because everybody was, just talking about Rihanna being pregnant, and it's kind of the key sign. What was it? Shine like a diamond. She started rubbing her belly, like she's pregnant. Well, congratulations to her, and also congratulations to Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes with the Kansas City Chiefs. 38-35. Mm-hmm. A lot of controversy. So let's kick it off. Matt, what was your thoughts on the game?
It kind of like the halftime performance. So it was a close game, and this is just my perspective. Yeah, it was a close game, and but to me, it was a very ho hum game. Like I wasn't like, I don't know how I was expecting more because it was close. There was plenty of offense. I don't know. To me, I wasn't entertained. I'll be honest. It's weird because again, you go look at the stats. It was great to see Hurts run for 3 rushing touchdowns and throw for another, and however many Patrick Mahomes threw 4. I don't know, man. It was ho hum to me, and it validates the Jags loss. I mean, that essentially makes us runner-up champs, essentially. So there's that, right?
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, what about you, Mr. Jackson? What you thought?
I mean, I'm not sure what game Matt saw. I think it was a pretty good game. Like it was like honestly, it was a meeting of 2 teams that had been playing really well. It was 2 offenses that played really well. And I mean, it's just like each team had something that kind of went against them. But I think overall it was a fantastic game. Like I think it went really well. And then this dog is acting crazy.
Yeah.
See, your dog disagrees.
Yeah, I think he joins Matt on that one. But
I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, and maybe it was just almost too perfect that it was boring to me. I don't know. I don't know.
You know what the thing is? I think there wasn't enough parity, and also I think there might have I feel like people thought that coming into the game that there would be one team that would just like overpower the other, and we saw that in the first half. But then the second half, you saw things kind of start to to kick up a little bit. Like you saw, like the Chiefs look like they got like I'm gonna say more comfortable. Like they look like they really were able to go back to their game. And I mean, I personally, I just love watching Jalen Hurts out there because he was scoring touchdowns through the air. He's scoring on the ground. Like I think other than the fumble, he damn near played a perfect game. So like when you see those types of performances, it's just like I can't knock it because it's like there wasn't sloppy play. Like it was really just like a shootout for the most part. But it's just like it came down to one play, and that's gonna be the one that I'm gonna say that overtakes the whole entire game.
When I compare it to last year's Super Bowl, like if they said, "Hey, you can only watch one Super Bowl ever again," it's going to be 2023 or 2022. I would immediately say 2022. The score differential was the same, 3 points, right? In fact, they scored more this year. But to me, last year was just so much more entertaining to me. And again, I can't tell exactly why, but I don't know.
I thought it was like a great movie. A great opening.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a plateau in the middle. The second and third quarter was kind of plateau, and in the fourth quarter it was just like, all right, here we go, boys. Hold on to your britches. Like I thought it was a good game. Like Chris said, I was a pro offense. Like that offense on both sides was just amazing. The defense played well. You can't play. You can't do nothing when you play offense like that. On both sides, Jalen Hurts to me just solidify the top 5 quarterback group.
I think so, yeah.
And Pat Mahomes is dude. He's the next Tom Brady. Like we go from Tom Brady to Pat Mahomes. Like
let's not do Tom Brady because I mean if the problem that I have with comparing him to Tom Brady is that Tom Brady. Well, I mean, Mahomes is half white. He is a mulatto. Okay, let's just get that out the way now. But it's like I think Tom Brady has his own thing. I think what we're seeing with Mahomes is that Mahomes is that exciting quarterback, the one that you watch play now, and you don't care who he's throwing to, but you know for a fact that if there's a play to be made, he's going to make a play.
Well, the only reason why I put him in the same boat as Tom Brady is the dominance. Because, I mean, let's be honest. Tom Brady was dominant. I mean, he went to 10 Super Bowls and won 7. Like, I mean, he's dominant. you know. So that's the only reason
I
why
get it.
I compare it to him. But I agree with you. To me, I think we're seeing one of those once in a lifetime type of players, like a Michael Jordan, like a LeBron James,
Yeah.
a
Oh,
Cal
yeah.
Ripken, Barry
Yeah.
Bonds. Like it's going to be something special to watch. So I'm glad I get to witness it.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
Here's a question though. So what if put Rogers on the Chiefs with wow, I can't think of his name.
Andy
Andy
Reid,
Reid. Andy Reid. Are we talking about? I mean, we are. It's pretty much agreed upon that Aaron Rodgers is one of the best like passing quarterbacks of all time, right?
Hmm.
But I don't think anyone's ever talked about like he's a goat, right? Like he's going to be the goat. I think he's kind of up there with Drew Brees, and like they're just really great quarterbacks. Where I think you're right, Chris. Like Mahomes is definitely in the goat conversation. He's not goat yet, but he is one of the most. He's the closest that ever in currently anyone could be.
he's the LeBron
Tom
James of
Brady.
football. Like he
But
like he's going to be the GOAT at one point in time, just like
but
LeBron James.
if Rodgers had not necessarily the same team, but if he had Andy Reid, do you think he would be in the same conversation of GOAT status? Because I think he's been crippled by his core organization. I'm talking about Rodgers
Yeah.
and the coaches that they've set him up with. Do you think Aaron Rodgers could have the same track?
I think he'd be in the conversation of Peyton Manning. I think he wins one more or two more and goes to a couple, but just doesn't win it. But I think he's in the same boat as Manning. I don't think he'd be as GOAT status now, but I think he solidifies like a Peyton Manning. Like, damn, he was good.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the biggest thing about like Aaron Rodgers as opposed to what we're seeing now with Pat Mahomes, we've seen Pat Mahomes win with anybody. Like the thing is, it's just like we've seen Travis Kelce out, we've seen Tyreek Hill be out for games, we've seen him throw to Demarcus Robinson, Byron Pringle, Chris Conley. We've seen him throw to these guys who aren't household names, who honestly are on most rosters third, fourth, and fifth string guys, and he's making plays with them. And the thing is, I think when you have somebody in those positions who can make plays with players that aren't familiar, that speaks volumes to what it is. I mean, what was the storyline this year with Aaron Rodgers, right? It was the fact that he had this young core. Adams was gone, Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, and he was struggling. And the thing is, for me, I like Aaron Rodgers. I think he absolutely should be in those top QBs of all time.
I like him as a QB. As a person, he's a piece of garbage. But
oh yeah, absolutely,
I get it. Right.
Yeah, but I think it's Mahomes goes out there and he plays with whoever. Rodgers was complaining about having younger guys after complaining all this time about not having any playmakers. So for me, it's like I think that's pretty damning for his case for that.
Well, speaking of teammates, a lot of fans are saying that the referees are Team Kansas City Chiefs. So let's jump into this wormhole. I mean, there is pretty good evidence for the Jaguar game, for the Bengals game. There was a lot of plays going towards the Chiefs side. Now, here's my opinion. I thought it was a well-called game for the referees in the Super Bowl. Just down to one play, and it was a you damn if you do, you damn if you don't type of play. Yeah. But to me, I don't think the only outcome it changes is that the Eagles get the ball back with 45 seconds instead of 8. That's the only thing. They're still going to kick the field goal.
Difference.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but you also got to remember Kansas City was stopping that defense or that offense there in the fourth quarter. So who would know? Andy Reid is a mastermind when it comes to game time tune-ups. Like second half is a completely different game. I mean, this is the second time he's done it in the Super Bowl. Did it to 49ers, not now. So I mean, I gotta go with it was just a call at the wrong time. Like as that old saying, don't let the game go into referee hands. So that's where I'm at. But Matt, I see you shaking your head. You're disagreeing, so I'll start with you. What's your thoughts?
So I think the Super Bowl. It's for everything, right? That was I believe, I could be wrong. I think that was the first call, the holding call. I think that was the first holding call of the whole game. I know they had pass interference before that, but they had essentially let the teams play. And then here we are with under a minute to go, and now you want to throw a call that, if it's a 50-50 in a game like this, in a game that you've called in a very specific way, I think it's going to raise eyebrows, just because, again, you've shown a pattern over the majority of the game, and all of a sudden you throw in most people's eyes, maybe a 50-50 call in most games, and you're going to call it in the final minute of the final game of the season. I don't know, man. It's a little sus to me. I don't know. That's my opinion, though. Let him play.
Well, to Matt's fact, but James Bradbury did say that he did pull his jersey. That it was
He did, but I'm sure there was pulling throughout the whole game. Like, if they want to call, like, you can throw a flag at every single play if you really wanted to.
Right.
Only on the offensive line, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, and to be kind of devil's advocate, there was a lot. Kansas City got more penalized throughout the whole game than the Eagles. They had 5 to the Eagles 3 penalties with a lot more yards.
Yeah.
So, but Chris, you go ahead and you talk to me. What's your opinion like?
I mean, if we're, people are only going to remember the one that is just like the one that came down to the wire. Like, there was penalties being called all game. There were penalties that were putting the Eagles in great position and that had them in, or that basically just had them on drives where they were able to get go ahead scores. And so the issue that I have with it is that everybody's going to say that the one call ruined the game, but we're not going to talk about the other 7 to 8 throughout the whole entire game, where it's just like those were big time penalties on Kansas City's end that was called. Like, the thing is, I hate the whole, like, well, I mean, now that we're talking about scripts, I hate the whole, okay, yeah, that's the way that it was supposed to go at the end of the game, because it wasn't going that way prior to it. I mean, Bradbury, he did say that he grabbed the jersey. I get it. They're just like, okay, I thought they were going to let it rock. But at the same time, it's like, what, like, it's an obvious penalty. And if for some reason, let's just say he does get in position, or he is in position to catch the ball, and he ends up getting a touchdown off of that, then, I mean, how does that change it? Or let's just say it's just like that Bradbury ends up getting an interception, and that's on an obvious penalty that's not called. Then everybody's going to be in an uproar because it was a penalty that didn't happen that we all saw on live TV. Like, you're not going to be able to please everybody.
Right. And the Chiefs fans have been voted the most fan base to throw a fit about the referees. So you're right on that. You're that part. So
yeah, I honestly, I thought that it was called, like, the game was called the way that it needed to be called, literally all game. Yeah. And for everybody to say it's just like, oh, that was BS. It's like, come on. It's just like, let's not get into that mode where we say that one penalty ruined the game when you know that it was happening literally all game.
Yeah. I gotta give a shout out to my co-host on the Texans Fan Battle podcast, Brown Chubby Bear VT. He said that holding call was bad, but the Eagles defense and Hurts fumble is more to blame. Which, I mean, he's not wrong.
That's the thing. The Eagles defense and the fumble, that's the players, right? That's the players dictating the game and the outcome. The penalty flag, yes, the player did the hold, right? But again, I think most people will say that was a 50-50 call and a horrible time to throw it. I will give the refs this, though. They let a lot of the play, like, what was one of them? There was they threw the ball. It didn't look like a complete pass. He fumbled it right at the time.
Yeah,
and they let the play out, and then they reviewed it and said it was. See, that was great. I love that. I love that they're calling those. Let the play out.
There was a couple. There was a couple of those, right? I mean,
yeah. I think overall they called it great.
Right.
I think they were great overall. I just think that one call, and that's again, that's part of my issue, is that you call it so great, you let them play most of the game, but then that one. I would think a ticky tack 50-50 call. Just
See, and
bugs me.
here's the crazy thing is, and it was brought to my attention today that this was with the official group, the referees of this group that ref the game. Every time they referee a Chiefs game, this is the only second game they won. They only won 2 games with that officiating crew. All the others they lost. They're like 2-9 with that crew. So
they set it up. The storyline, the script is a whole season, right?
The script is scripting.
But and to me, like, I'm not saying it was script. Like, I get what you're saying, and Matt, and that does make a good argument. But everybody's like, "Oh, it's scripted for the Chiefs to win. It's scripted for the Chiefs to win." Well, if it was scripted, then that fumble, the second fumble, where Nick Bolton went for another touchdown and got called back, they wouldn't have called it back. They would have said, "Oh, touchdown." Because to me, there's too many variables for a script. Like, there's 22 guys on the field at the same time. Like, it's too hard to say, "Oh, okay, guys, the running back's gonna go this way, and I'm gonna throw it this way. You're gonna come in." No,
it's a lot. Like, there's a lot of different things that can go into it. But yeah,
well, I agree with you, Matt. That play, they should probably should have let it lie. Let the ball play out. Ball don't lie.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was scripted. I mean,
I'm not saying you, but there's so many people.
Like people who say it's scripted, you need to step back and look at it. Like, what does the NFL benefit from having
the Chiefs,
from scripting, having this one great team all the time, right? Like, if you want money and revenue, more and more money, that you have more teams win. You have, you spread it out evenly, so there's more happy fans, will spend more money, right? If you leave it on one team, like, it doesn't make sense because it's all about money at the end of the day. Right. So
yeah.
And like, if you watch the pregame and during the game, like, all the storylines was nothing but the Eagles. Look what the Eagles did. Nick, the second head coach, coach's second year, like, it's just the storylines was pro Philadelphia.
Yeah,
like, I think that's the goose, the money egg right there is Philadelphia, not in Midwestern Kansas. So I don't know, man. I thought it was a good game, and I would watch the game. But here's the one thing that none of us have mentioned. Fun fact: AJ Brown has been to the same amount of Super Bowls as the whole Titans organization.
Yeah.
How great is that?
Hey, in the words of a great man, suck it, Trebek. It was
Trebek.
Look, I don't like the Chiefs, but I didn't have a horse in the race. But I wanted AJ Brown to win a ring just so I could see Titans fans just cry in their mayo. Just make a mayo smoothie with all the cheers and mayo going on.
There would be a mayo sinkhole open up in the middle of Tennessee that would swallow the entire state whole. It would be mayo hell.
But Burks can become that one day, right? Right?
Well, I mean, listen, one more trip to Krispy Kreme, he might be an O lineman.
Yeah, dropping the mix.
Man, I didn't realize how big AJ Brown was when he was catching that ball, that touchdown pass between the two players. Like, because you got to see his body profile with those other two players. I was like, dang, Brown.
Yeah, he's like what, 6'6", right? He's
he's not that tall, but he's more thick. So. He's kind of like an Anquan Bolden body type. Remember how Anquan was just like he was 6'3", like really, he was brawling.
Right.
Yeah. But the thing is, he does have some speed to him, and it's just like he
has
a little bit more finesse with his route. Yeah, exactly.
Great route runner.
Yes, let's keep talking about how great he is, man. Imagine having him on your team and letting him go.
Right.
Exactly.
Because you couldn't afford him,
You couldn't afford him,
right.
even though your previous GM lowballed him by $10 million a year.
Like,
Here's
the crazy thing: could you imagine pairing him up with like a great running back? I don't know, like say Derrick Henry, like that'd be a great combo right there.
Oh, absolutely, that would be fantastic. I mean, they might be able to actually make the playoffs, or not get swept by the Jags.
All right, Buzz. Moving on to some NFL news. Man, there's not really a lot going on right now besides, the Super Bowl layover. Chad Henning retired. Congratulations to you being a career backup, making bank, being a backup.
He got 2 rings, but you know what? He got 2 rings, and he still did more than LaShawn McCoy and Melvin Gordon in those playoff series. So
no.
I mean,
yeah, he led what was it, Matt? A 98 drive against the Jaguars.
98-yard drive, yeah.
I mean,
the PTSD just kicked in.
Yeah, look for his medicine. Oh man.
He only threw for like 23 yards on that drive, so
I mean, he let it though. He was a quarterback.
he let it, yeah.
But you know what? But the one thing that I can respect is the fact that when he has had to play for Mahomes when Mahomes was hurt, he actually was able to make sure that he kind of like he kept them going, like he didn't deviate away from what was working. So I can actually go ahead and say that I do respect the fact that even with him being a career backup, when they needed him, he did deliver.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the Henny and the Chiefs, the Raiders, they are. Derek Carr has came out and said, "I do not want to be traded. If you're going to get rid of me, cut me." The news is he will be cut by tomorrow. So that with that being done, boy, I am understanding that you don't have to wait till free agency to pick him up. So I'll shoot to you guys. I'll start with you, Matt. What happens to him? Does he retire? What team does he go to? Do the Colts pick him up because they love those over 30?
Not this time. Not this time.
I'll leave that prediction to the Colts. Although if they did, I would kind of be scared because I think Carr's a legitimate quarterback. Like I think the dude can ball out. Like he's an athlete. Like he's a football player to the core, and I think he can sling it. But I don't know. I'd say the Saints that's kind of what everyone's saying. So
well, that's I think from rumors from what I've been hearing from our own Adam Schefter, Dylan Cecilic, is that he visited New Orleans and he did not like it at all.
Really?
And that's why he's demanding his release because he does not want to be traded to the Saints.
So is he indie bound? Lucas Oil?
Christopher Jackson, would you like to talk to us? Where do you think he's going, Bob?
Yeah, so hashtag no more QBs over 30. And he just doesn't make it. He doesn't make the requirements. I think Derek Carr is in a really, really unique situation now because wherever he goes, he's not going to be a backup. He's going to be a starter. And the thing about going to a place like Indy, especially with where we are right now, Ballard has no choice but to draft the QB of the future. And so, you're gonna say that, oh well, he's gonna have somebody to mentor. But the thing is, it's just like if he's getting cut, he's going to be able to select where he can go, and it's going to be somewhere where he knows for a fact that he can go and just hop on immediately. Now, I thought it was the Saints. I didn't know anything about him not liking it or whatever it may be. But the thing is, I mean, let's also look at it this way: he could go somewhere like Tampa. I mean, if for some reason Aaron Rodgers doesn't go to the Jets, he could go to the Jets. Like there's a lot of different possibilities for him, but I just
or the Packers. He could go to the Packers.
He could go to the Packers too, yes. But I don't see him going to Indy because, like I said, Indy is drafting their QB of the future this year, and he's not going anywhere to mentor. He's going places to compete.
Here's my bold prediction. Oh, boy. And I hate it, and I would absolutely hate it. But I think he's a fit, especially with the coach. And I think the Titans. I think Vrabel and Carr. I think they would just marry each other if they could. To me, they're just personalities. They're gritty. They just want to win, right? I got a sneaky feeling that he might end up in Nashville.
So here's my bro prediction, and I know if BT is watching, he's about to hit the chat. I think he comes to Houston. I think he follows the footsteps of his brother. I don't mind it. We're getting a young rookie. Let him sit behind the Derek Carr. Let him learn from the master, the guy who's top 12 in fourth quarter comebacks. The guy who's a excellent quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. He's Josh McDaniels. That's all I gotta say. Josh McDaniels. Like you give him a star receiver and he regresses. Like who else does that? Josh
Yeah.
McDaniels. I think that's it. See, I told you I knew it was happening, but yes, but here's the catch. And it only can be for like a year or 2 years, and it can't be nothing over 15 million. Which I know that's not gonna happen.
No.
But
No.
I like this comment says now they throw new young quarterbacks directly into the fire nowadays. Not Patrick Mahomes. Why not do a Patrick Mahomes type? Why not do a Steve McNair type? Like Steve McNair sat behind the coach or the quarterback.
Yeah.
They tried to do that with Herbert, but the doctors got a little poke friendly with the needle.
Yeah.
They tried to do that with Watson. Tom Savage just sucks. Can't do that with him. So I like to, but like I said, if it's not right price, then move on from him. Don't get him. So, all right, guys. Well, before we move on, is there any NFL news that I did not touch base on?
So there was a lot of people who were actually outraged about the field yesterday.
Yes.
Because the players literally were like slipping. It wasn't even just like one or two here or there. It's just like it was like major plays, like running backs weren't able to hit cuts because they were slipping. You know, the kicker on the kickoff, he slipped. Like it was
eight dancers hurt their ankles because of the grass.
Interesting.
Yeah. And you know what? It was interesting because they said that this was a new type of sod that they used for the grass for this. And I really think the NFL, I think within the next few coming years, it's just like I think they're really going to make this push for turf. Because I mean, it's just like I think to them, it's just like the NFL, I think, just wants to make the game like faster, more exciting, and you know, this was possibly their opportunity to just go ahead and say, "Hey, look, this grass sucks. We need to do turf," and it's just like, no, turf is terrible for ACLs. Like we saw it all year.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't know. I don't know whether it was this year or last year, but I mean, we saw more no contact injuries within like the last 2 years than we'd ever seen before. And I mean, it literally is only happening on turf fields.
Right.
All right, guys. Well, since we are done with NFL news, let's go.
No, wait. Oh, there was one more, and I don't know. Well, how do you guys feel about? And I don't know if you guys had actually bet on it, but the Gronk field goal kick.
Where you missed it?
Did he?
I mean, they said right. Yeah.
I don't know. Did you guys see it? Like it looked like if you slow mo,
I thought you made it.
It disappears behind the bar. I think what they did is they like essentially just called whatever was better for Vegas, right? I don't know.
Of course.
Right. I mean, you have to, right? If you're Vegas.
Okay. Unpopular opinion. I'm kind of over this whole them forcing Gronk on us, because I feel like it's just like they literally are like I've seen more of Gronk now than I did before, and I'm like, what? Like,
I'd rather see Kay Adams than Gronkowski. Like, come on now, you know.
Yeah, it's
Aaron
just
Andrews.
Right. Yeah. Like, come on, do something else.
Speaking of Gronk, where do you guys think after yesterday's game? Where do Kelsey and Gronk stand? Is
Kelsey by far?
Kelsey won. Gronk. Kelsey, I don't even know that I have Gronk too. I don't even know that I have Gronk too. Tony Gonzalez. Like if I'm looking at the tight
longevity,
longevity, like tight ends, like Tony Gonzalez was the model of consistency over his whole entire career,
and he played in a run first era too. You know,
right. Tight ends weren't a thing. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
the fullbacks.
Yeah,
exactly. But I mean, it's just like for me, it's Kelsey by a long shot. I think I'm not putting Kittle in the top 5 because I think that he's still kind of writing his story. I think he has a lot of great intangibles, but I can't put him up there yet. I think I'll have him top 10, but I mean it's just like it's going to be Kelsey, Gronk, or not Kelsey, like Kelsey, Gonzalez, Gronk, Shannon Sharp, and then probably like what's the name, Antonio Gates after that.
Well, we got a comment that says Mercedes Lewis 1, Ever Ingram 2.
Whoever wrote that definitely
is high on
rat at TIAA Bank Stadium.
Duval. No, so the way that I approach like the GOAT, this is how I personally determine GOATs is like if I'm starting franchise over, who would I want at that position, right? Like ideally. And maybe I need to watch more. I probably still would go with Kelsey just because like it's so weird because Kelsey's gonna get the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He gets it. Like regardless of what's going on, the dude is like he's getting the ball.
He's most effective on Crystal Downs. He's the most effective player in sports.
And he scores. It's not like he just catches the ball. The dude catches the ball, he gets the yak, and he scores. Gronk, I mean, with him, it was just like
he's doubled and triple team.
He's so sneaky. He's so sneaky. How many times, and especially during the Jaguars games, how many times did you see Kelsey get the ball and there was nobody within 10 feet of him, 10 yards of him?
Oh yeah.
It's just he's so good at being a tight end. Like, but I like Gronk because the guy was just like once he had the ball, it was almost unstoppable. But
the only reason why I put Kelsey over Gronk is Gronk has an elite quarterback his whole career.
Oh yeah.
Kelsey had Alex Smith. Well, Alex Smith was good. Well, he wasn't no Brady or Mahomes.
No, yeah.
So right. I mean, he was putting up great numbers with Alex Smith. Now he's putting amazing numbers with Patrick Mahomes. So I gotta give it to Kelsey for that.
Yeah. Facebook user, you're right. He's so slow, which makes it so. That's what makes him so much. Like it's so incredible. The dude just catches the balls, scores. It's just. I wish he was on my.
And you know what? I don't think like. Especially at a position like tight end, it's not the speed.
Don't matter.
It's not like speed doesn't matter because the thing is with Kelsey, his route running, the way that he gets in and out of cuts, and the fact that he's doing this against linebackers and he's doing this against cornerbacks, it's almost like you're underestimating him until he hits you with a move, and then all of a sudden you're just like. Oh wait, no, that wasn't supposed to happen that way.
Oh, he scored a touchdown. Oh shit!
Yeah, it's just like wait, he was just here. You're just like, yeah, he was just there. Like,
he's celebrating his touchdown now. So.
Yeah.
And they still have a lot of rings as well. So, well, guys, let's move on to AFC South news. Let's all be Titans fans. So go to your nearest refrigerator and get the mayo out. And let's nothing real I know about the Titans except that they brought in Chris Harris as the DC.
He's pass game coordinator.
Pass game coordinator. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I thought I wanted Chris Harris for the Texans DC job. Yeah. I wanted a Legion of Boom type of with Derek Stingley, Jalen Petrie.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of disappointed that they got him, but what do you think, guys? Good move, bad move?
I wanted him last year before we got Gus Bradley. Like he was definitely somebody that I was hoping that they were looking at because he was definitely making a name for himself. I mean, I feel like he might be underrated, but also I think the 49ers were trying to poach him for their defensive coordinator position out there. So
yeah, so is Houston.
I don't know. He might not be there too much longer if he decides that he's going to go and just say, you know what, I'm just going to take the higher position.
Right. Matt, anything to add to it?
The Titans suck, and we swept them this year. That's what I have to say.
And speaking of sucking, their newly departed OC Todd Downing joins the departed Jaguars and Denver coach to the offensive side of the New York Jets. How you gonna do that to that defense? Like you got a stout defense, and you're just like, "Yeah, sorry guys, we're not gonna win this year. We're just gonna suck it up." Like, no, thank you. Like, man, if I was Sauce Gardner, I'd be like, "Hey, I'm out." I'm pulling a Jay
Yeah.
Ramsey now. Like, please.
Yeah, it's
please,
just like,
guys.
all right, yeah, get me out of here.
All right, guys. Well, moving on to the division winner, Matt. We got any news on the Jaguars?
I mean, we're division champs. That's not
Right.
news though.
That's facts with the CK, right?
Yeah. No, so we got a new wide receivers coach. Our previous wide receivers coach jettisoned for college football with the Longhorns, which I'm not upset about that because I feel like he did it for a career move because in the NFL, man, there's 32 teams, right? In college football, there's 120 plus, right? So I think that was more of a career move. Plus, he has connections with the Texas.
And that's his alumni, isn't it?
Yeah. So he's got connections there. So I think he's trying to get on a faster track to being a head coach, which makes sense. I was hoping we could get McCardell back, but we picked up Chad Hall as our wide receivers coach.
Oh yeah, Chad Hall, yeah, and he played in the
from
league.
Buffalo. He came from Buffalo, but it's fine, I guess. We just need to shore up our drops. Hopefully he can come in and talk to them about that and get Mr. Ridley to stop gambling and be all right. So that's it for the Jags. Although another bit of news, the way too early rankings has us in the top 10. You're welcome.
Oh, well, good thing it's way too early, huh?
Yeah,
Way too early.
extremely early.
All right. Well, I'll kind of jump on this one. The Texans. Of course, we all know we got the best prospect out of the head coaching search. Yes, Chris, I'm going to call it the best. We got D'Amico Ryans. We have made our OC, Bobby Slowick from the 49ers, which I am definitely okay with it. Bring back the zone blocking. We got Clint Kubiak as run coordinator. Please, thank you. I love me some zone blocking. And then we added former Colts. How you say the last name, Chris? I don't want to murder it.
Chris Strausser.
That's what I thought, but
It's fair.
Colts fans are hating it. They're saying he's trash. I don't think so. I think that line personnel besides Smith and Nelson was trash. Matt Pryor was terrible.
Oh yeah, Matt Pryor. Matt Pryor was
63% of the sacks came through him.
Yeah.
Last 3 years, top 10 of at least sacks.
Wow.
So zone blocking is going to help him. I'm ready for it. And then on the defensive side, we got Matt Burke, who was the DC before Flores came over there in Miami, and he was the defensive lineman coach over there in Arizona. I'm okay with it. Like, you got good things from him, from J.J. Watt, Chandler Jones. Like, you got a lot of guys saying high things about him. If he can fix that edge to help our defensive backs, to help our linebackers, I'm okay with it. I see a lot of great moves from this organization, so I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Let's get the season started. No more Levy Smith. No more David Coley. I almost forgot his name. David Coley. Like, it's a new breed. So I'm glad to welcome Cap and his new staff to Houston. So I'm for it.
Well, I will say this about all that. The Jaguars, several years ago, we made what many deemed to be excellent moves at all the coaching positions from top to bottom, and we were going to turn things around. And, well, obviously you didn't. And
I mean, I went to the AFC
you have the best
Championship.
coaching staff, but if you don't have the players, it's
right.
You can only do so much. So,
Well, I mean,
players.
we got a lot of good things to build on, like Jalen.
I mean, you got a giant neck you can build on. That's a great foundation.
Well, we're getting a top 5 quarterback, so I'm okay with it. We're getting Jalen Petrie, something to build on the defense. Stingley signs of something to build on the defense, and of course, he won the angriest run in the season.
Yeah,
Damian Pierce against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So,
dang,
yeah,
What's the Kingsbury talk? What came out of that?
Well, they tried to make him the OC, but they of course they went to the Bobby Slowick. They were going to, from what I heard, they were trying to make him the quarterback coach, but they went to Gerard Johnson, the ex Vikings quarterback coach.
Okay.
But there also could be talks of him being the pass coordinator. I don't know. I'll be okay with it. Bring
I mean, the dude
experience
didn't
on
do
the
anything
offense.
in Arizona. He didn't do anything. Like,
He had top 5 offense last year, other than last year since he's been there.
other than last year, yeah.
And you can say that because Mini Me went down with a season-ending injury. So
He was just getting ready for Warzone Season 2. That's all.
right.
Yeah,
I don't want him just for one reason. I don't want Bryce Young. I want C.J. Stroud. I mean, I wouldn't mind Bryce Young if we get him, but BT and Crenshaw got me on the C.J. Stroud train.
They got you on. They got you on the Stroud train.
So I'm okay with any quarterback other than Will Levis. Like, give me C.J. Stroud, give me Bryce Young, give me Anthony Richardson in the later round, but do not give me Will Levis. Take your Bayo drinking ass to Tennessee. Like, I'm okay with it.
So, is there anything to the rumors that the Colts and the Texans are potentially gonna get a bidding war for the number 1 overall pick?
No, Texans ain't gonna trade number 1. Well, they got all that draft capital. If the Colts jump up, spend the draft capital to get the Garrett guy, like I said, they're either gonna get Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud. I mean, out of those two guys, that's what everybody's saying. That's their guys. D'Amico said they want athletic, strong arm QBs. They're you guys, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud. So
yeah,
I just don't think we're going to jump up to the first round. I think that's a kind of nonsense. But what sells, right?
exactly.
All right, going to the other horrible team in the AFC South, the Colts.
We did that. We certainly were. But yeah, so they've now, I guess, made it official or unofficially official. So Shane Steichen, the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, is going to be the next head coach, which means that whoever we get now, I'm kind of on the same train as you are, Matt, where I'm fine with any QB as long as it's not Will Levis. Steichen he's been the OC for the Eagles. He also was the OC for the Chargers with Justin Herbert early. So I mean, he does have history with quarterbacks, and so getting somebody in the draft now is just like, whether it be Bryce Young, Stroud, even Richardson, it's just like, I think that's going to be, I think it's going to be a home run. Because, I mean, it's just like, you see what he was able to do with that offense. And, I mean, even with, like, the injuries that they've had, like, on the O-line throughout the year, like, they lost Lane Johnson for a significant amount of time. And yet...
Kelsey was hurt, too, this year.
Yeah, Kelsey was hurt. But then it's just like...
Or however you say his name was hurt.
Yeah, you watch... And if you watch the Phillies offense didn't skip a beat when they lost those guys. And to me, it's just like being able to continue to keep up a very high level of play when you're missing key players. To me, it shows that you have a scheme that works where everybody in it is going to be able to work as well. So, I mean, I'm just excited because that means that we absolutely are going to be getting our QB of the future. Like I said, I don't care whether it's Young, I don't care whether it's Stroud, I don't care whether it's Richardson, but we're going to get our guy.
You don't want Richardson. No, the guy is pure garbage. He's going to be he will be a forever project that coaches.
This is the only reason why. This is the only way I want Anthony Richardson. If we get Derek Carr, and he falls to the third round.
Oh yeah,
fine. I'd be fine with it.
If he can suck up his pride and move to a different position, that would be probably his best career move. But he's not going to.
Who, Derek Carr?
No. Anthony Richardson. He's not a quarterback.
Oh, okay.
He's not built to be quarterback. I watched a lot of his games, the Gator games, because they lost a lot of games, and that's the second best thing behind watching Titans lose is watching the Gators lose. So I watched a lot of their games.
But on the Gators, man, that offensive line is trash, and I don't know why they have that coach still there. Like I don't think he's a very good coach. He makes a lot of boneheaded mistakes, but
I hope they keep him. Keep him off.
But yeah, but like I said, I think I'm good. Like I said, it's just I know that we'll probably end up with Stroud or Young. Knowing Chris Ballard, especially with how things have shaped up, I think like when you see Bryce Young, it's just like he checks all the boxes of what Chris Ballard looks for, maybe except for size. But I mean, from what I understand, they're working on getting him up to about 210, 220, just so that it's just like he'll be stronger and he'll be able to, like I said, just if the O line is where it's supposed to be, just like be able to take that punishment. But I don't think, like I said, I'd be fine with either. I like Bryce Young's intelligence when it comes to what he's able to do on the field, and I mean, I think C.J. Stroud is just going to be a baller, contrary to what Remington says. Well, not Remington, contrary to what the other Josh Allen says.
Yeah. I would say Christopher Remington is pro Stroud. So
yeah, he's pro Stroud. Josh Allen is not.
So Colts to trade for Brandon Cooks for a 5th-round pick. I mean, no.
That's your problem. That's your
you guys
problem.
If you guys ain't giving him up for 5th-round pick.
No, I think
he's worth way more than that.
I think we get a high 2nd, low 3 for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like to a Green Bay Packers or a
But you can't give him up. You can't draft a young guy and give away Brandon Cooks. You need somebody there.
Keenan Allen. That's who I want. Free agent.
Now, yes, that's somebody that I saw that they said that he was going to be a cut. I think honestly, if he can stay healthy, he's going to be able to be a monster in any offense.
I wouldn't mind Juju Smith either. Like I want a guy with veteran presence. Of course, it's not be Cooks, so I'm okay.
Oh yeah. Well, of course not. You don't want Cooks.
You could trade for Briggs. You could trade for Briggs. He's supposed to be like AJ Brown.
I heard he's gonna open up a Krispy Kreme, move to offensive tackle, and start a record label with Isaiah Wilson. So I think he.
Oh, great heavens!
Yeah, I watched that reality show.
Yeah. So. All right, folks. Well, anything else before we sign off?
Nah. Well, somebody said that they saw a report that saying that the Colts are drafting Will Levis, and I tell you that's fake news. Okay, fake news. Okay, there's millions and millions of sources that say that we're not drafting Will Levis. Never.
Same with the Texans. That he's way off their radar. So. All right.
We'll see how they look in their underwear, though, man.
Crazier things happen. That's all that matters, right? All right. Well, Matt, tell us where we can find you on social media and your great podcast.
So right now, the Jaguars. We run a Jaguar network, is what it's called, the Jaguar Podcast. But we are rebranding into something that's better. It's under construction. We don't have the name yet. But if you follow us at Jaguar Network on Twitter, the name will change, but you should still be able to locate us there. But we'll be revealing here shortly once we get everything figured out. So please follow. Big things ahead. We are number 1 defending champs. So.
All right, Christopher Jackson. Same to you, sir.
Yes. You Don't Know Jack podcast. We generally go on Tuesdays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. But for some reason, the last couple Tuesdays have been a little bit crazy. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, so you'll probably see us on Wednesday. But catch us every Tuesday at 9:30. Yeah, it's just like got a lot of fellas do what they gotta do. It's just like don't want the ladies mad. You can't keep the ladies mad, okay? Can't do that.
And your social media? Where do you find you at?
You can find me at CJ Colts Fan, and you can find the podcast page at YDKJAC Podcast.
And guys, you can find me at A1Day1 Texans on all social media. You can find me on the Original Wednesday podcast, the Texans Fan Battle at 8 p.m. Central. You follow this podcast at AFC FB. Yeah, AFC SFB. Where you go, Sam? You're not here. You still make me mess up. But yeah, make sure you follow us. You also follow us on YouTube at Fan Battle Sports Network. You can catch all the great podcasts on there. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Guys, until then, we will see you. This is the season finale of season 4. So thank you for tuning in. February 19th is season 5 premiere. We're going to have Hall of Fame writer John McClain on. So make sure you check us out.
Awesome.
Get to ask him a lot of good questions. So make sure you tune in. Until then, guys, have a great night, and we'll see you then.
Absolutely. Have a good one. Remember,